Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is JR and our good friend Brian here.
What's up, guys?
Today in this video, we're gonna have a little fun. So we got, as you guys know, the new Hoyts have launched. We have the RX9 right here, and then we have an RX8 right there. We're gonna do a little comparison on them. We're gonna shoot them at a couple different draw lengths and a couple different arrow weights as well. And we're just gonna go over all the new features and specs of the new bow. So stay tuned. So Brian, here we go.
There it is, man.
The new RX9. So we're gonna start with this one, the RX9. Overall, first impressions, what do you think of the bow? How does it look?
So to me, to the normal, it looks the same. The riser looks exactly the same, which I don't think I'm wrong. There are a few differences, i.e. being the fact that for your stabilizer mount, the retaining portions of it right here are no longer there, so they are actually molded into the riser itself.
Correct.
So to say that it's the exact same is a farce. There is a little bit of difference, but it still has, I believe, the same Hoyt quality build, attention to detail. You know, it's just a phenomenal shooting bow, so there's not a whole lot of reason to change much, in my opinion.
Correct, and that's what we've heard as well, is why change something if it's not broken? So yeah, the basic geometry is still there of the RX8 to the RX9. So it's a solid performing bow, as you've seen in our other video that we did where we did the torture test. I do have that bow back set up again. I'm trying to hunt with it, trying to get at least one deer with it just to have some fun. So we'll show you that here in a little bit too. But yeah, another new change that they did is, we'll start at the top. So this is basically the same cam, the HPX cam. This is a Gen 4 now, and there is now 5 different mod options for your draw lengths. So hopefully that should help with the efficiency and performance of that bow, especially once you went to the bottom of that the number 3 cam or the number 2 cam or mod on the RX8. We're actually seeing a big drop in speed and performance.
Sure.
So we're going to put that to the test a little bit and see how it performs. Hoyt is claiming up to 19 feet per second increase in speed compared from the RX8 to the RX9. So we'll kind of test that a little bit.
With that, so speed is never going to be as comfortable as you want it to be, right? Because it's a trade-off, one for the other. So new cams with the new mod system, 5 different mods, and it's the 5 different mods because of it's all incremental in an inch, right?
Correct.
So it goes from 30 to 29, 29 to 28, and then what they also did is they shortened the limbs.
Yep. So
same style limb, but it is a lot shorter, so it's going to make that draw force curve a little bit more stiff.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So that's where a lot of the speed, I think, is going to come in. And they also did change the limb pockets.
Yep.
The limb pockets, this one's a lot thinner, a lot lighter, so that's where we're going to get a lot of that actual weight savings as we're getting in with this bow.
Yep. So that is kind of in a nutshell all the new features. We did actually forget right here, so they have that new stabilizer right here. I actually really like the look of it, and that's gonna help save a little bit of weight as well. So very, very excited to get this back into our tuning room, get some arrows through it, and get kind of first impressions of the draw cycle.
Speaking of tuning, before we go too far, big difference. They went to a split bus cable system. For you, as a bow tech, right? How does it make your job easier, harder, and different? I mean, tell me from your point of view when you're putting this together for, say, me, and we have to adjust center shot, we have to adjust, you know, timing, draw length, all of those things. How does that come into account for you?
So for this system right here, this is not a closed system, so you can't yoke tune with this. This is basically just getting your loadout on your axles spread out more. Instead of having one center point for that cable to run on your axle, it's spreading that load on the axle. So it should hopefully help it be less torquey and feel a little bit better shooting it.
Does it help with cam lean? Because I know in previous renditions of the early carbon bows, there was extreme amount of cam lean because it was all on that single.
It should help a little bit with that cam lean. Another thing that Hoyt does that maybe a lot of people don't know is there's no limb deflection, or no limb deflection on your limbs. So there's not one stiffer side or not. They're all the same deflection rating for their limbs. So that is also why sometimes you can see that little bit of cam lean, which is never really a bad thing unless it's excessive. So you really shouldn't see anything with that.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm excited. I want to shoot it. I want to shoot it.
We'll let you shoot it first.
I want to see how this goes, because everyone says it's a lot stiffer, a lot more aggressive. But this may be a defining factor on whether or not I go up to an 80-pound bow or not this year.
Yep.
So let's get him back here.
Yep. So we're going to go in the back. We've got this Sonic right here. This is 470 grains, and then we're going to shoot a 350 grain arrow through it as well.
Let's get some weights on these things, some draw weights, actual physical weights, and let's shoot them.
Yep.
All right, guys, here we are. First shot on the RX9, and I'm really excited to see how this is going to feel. Do you want to speed it now?
Sure, might as well.
All right, this is 29-inch draw length at 70 pounds with a 470 grain arrow, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to check the draw weight of it first? You want to get a draw weight?
Yeah, let's do that.
See what they're pulling
Got our
in.
handy scale here.
So typically,
Set at 0.
the last couple of years, Hoyt has been sending their bows a little bit hot. And we're just going to run them as they are. What do you think?
It lets down a little bit easier. 73.7 holding 11. Do we want to dial this down to 70? We're going to let it rip. All right. So 73 pounds, didn't feel horrible. It was a very constant, there was no dump, no hard. I mean, it wasn't extremely difficult from the beginning to, it was just consistent. So here we go. First shot. Phew.
286.4.
Super dead. Super dead. There is no stabilizers other than their shortstop 2 that's on here now, but super dead.
It felt pretty quiet too.
Yeah.
So that's a 350 grain arrow right there.
All right, so we're gonna go 350 through this bad Larry, and it should, I'm guessing it's gonna be over 300.
Oh yeah.
And this is at 29 inches, 73 pounds. $328.5. That is smoking fast.
Because the IBO on that bow is what, 340?
340 is IBO.
It's short, so
And but we're also a couple pounds heavy. We're at 73.
it's going to be pretty much hitting IBO then.
Yeah.
Because we're at about another 10 feet per inch.
Yeah, that is screaming fast.
It'd be about 338, almost 339. So yeah.
Screaming fast.
So
I like the feel of it.
Good. Okay.
Honestly, it is just, a constant pull. It's not too crazy. I like it. I'm really digging it. And I think I could get away with a 29-inch draw length.
It didn't look bad on you. Or you could do quarter-inch adjustments because they still have the quarter-inch draw length adjustments.
Yeah.
It's a really nice feature.
So we had, 286?
Yes.
286, 29 inches. We're going to run the second one. This is the RX8, 29 inches, 470 grain arrow.
This is at 70.6.
Okay, so it's right at 70.
So we're a little bit shy on this one, but it'll be okay.
Yep.
All right, let's see what we get for speed out of this. And this is very consistent.
You just pulled that hinge right out of that fanny pack, didn't you, buddy?
I did.
Still be tough and carry your stuff. 328.
No,
let's do that again.
That didn't register.
So this is, and I found this out recently. The Garmin doesn't like when you change arrow weights right after the first shot.
Yeah, and also the distance too. We are a little bit close to the target.
It doesn't like it when you change arrow weights mid-session, if you know what I mean.
There we go, 275.
275, and I was at 286.
That's 11 feet difference. And we are 3 pounds lighter, so it'd be about 10 feet.
Yep, 10 FPS difference between that cam, this cam, and it's got shorter limbs on it.
Yes.
So a lot of that is where the speed comes in.
Correct. And with that mod too, we're more at the top of that mod, whereas this mod on the number 3 in this. We're actually more towards the middle of the mod, so that's where you're getting more of that efficiency. So it is standing true so far with what they say.
Yep, yep.
All right, here's that 350 grain arrow at 29.
.318 when I was doing 328, so we're right at 10 feet a second.
Like we said, okay. So yeah, that's at 29. We're gonna change out some mods. I think it's gonna be 27 is gonna be the next draw length we're gonna do, so we'll see what we get for speeds.
Yep. How do I go back? How do I go back? What did I do?
Up here, get back.
All right.
We're live.
We're live. Coming at you. We have changed mods. We are now at 27 inches. Correct? So 27 inches on the RX9, pulling 73 pounds. We're in 470 grain arrow first.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's super short. Super short. Still smooth, running 266. Which is still really respectable for a 470 grain at such a short draw length.
Not bad at all. I'm not mad at that at all.
No. All right, 350 grains. .307.
Yes.
That is cooking for such a short draw length. I'm actually really impressed.
Yeah. So this should hopefully be 10 feet
slower.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Have you hold that for me if you don't mind?
Yes, sir.
All right, so now we're going to shoot the RX8 at 27. And this is once again more in the middle of that number 2 mod. Whereas that one's at the top of the number 3 mod, I think it'd be. It should say on there. Still learning the new mods. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. Oh, jeez.
Yes. Easy killer. Those
a little short.
With those guns.
262.6. So that was only about 4 feet.
4 feet per second slower with 470 at 27 inches.
Yep.
All right.
And then you had 307, correct?
Yes.
So let's see if this will be 302 then. Or 303. Sorry. Yeah, I can't get to my draw length, so sorry guys.
297. So there's your 10 feet a second slower.
Interesting.
It's weird. And I mean, and the mods don't explain the difference. I mean, if it was it should be gradual. It should be the same across the board. So that's it, guys. I am actually really impressed with the RX9. I like the draw cycle. I don't mind the stiffness of it. I had a Hoyt last year, and
Let me shoot it. I know it's gonna be short on me, but
yep. We'll trade.
Let me shoot it, and we'll get my feel for it.
Yep. We're done with that 350 grain. We'll just shoot that one.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, here we go.
Short. It's short.
Yeah, it's a little bit more consistent the entire way through.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like on the RX8, it's once you get it going, it gets smoother.
Does it?
Whereas this just feels more consistent the entire way through. Overall, the feel post shot
a little bit faster than when I shot it.
272.
It went from 266 when I shot it, did it not?
Yeah. Yep.
So there's our difference right there.
Yeah.
It could have been just the rapid change of arrow weight.
Yeah. So post shot on both bows, they feel very similar. I don't really feel any hand shot vibration. It's just dead.
It's a tried and true design. That's why they stuck with it.
Yeah.
I do want to shoot this one.
They feel very similar to each other to me, in my opinion.
Really? See this curve here. Now we're back on the RX8. Yeah, that's so much smoother, and it's almost like it dumps at the very end.
Because that typically has more let off. Is what we
Just
noticed.
smooth. 259 from 259 to 272. Right? Is that what you just had?
Yeah.
So there's our difference. So now we're getting the consistency that they're claiming. So I'm really, really impressed with the new lineup. I like, when I'm drawing a bow, I want to know that I'm drawing a bow. You know what I mean? For me, there would be no reason for me to go to 80 pounds with that.
It's fast enough.
It's fast enough.
Plenty fast
for especially what we're doing here in East North Carolina. And it's lighter. Let's do that.
Yep, that's what
overall
I was gonna say.
weight.
We'll do the overall weight now. We're running the same rest on it and everything. So
Yeah, everything is exactly the same. So RX8, if you want to get that, we are right at 4.6, 4.7. It's flickering back and forth.
So this should be, because so Hoyt with the RX8, they were not including the shortstop on the mass weight of the bow, whereas with the RX9, they are including that shortstop on the mass weight of the bow.
But it's still at 4.25 is what they said, right?
It should be, and I mean, we've got the rest in there, so it's gonna be a hair different. It shouldn't be anything super drastic. 4.4.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's almost that weight from that little shortstop is basically the difference right there. So yeah.
And this is a 30-inch axle to axle, right?
30 and a half.
And that's 29 and a half. So that's, I think, the shortest axle to axle bow they've come out with.
Let me get a tape measure.
All right, so axle to axle on the 9, you going middle to middle?
We're actually 30 and almost 5/8. Oh, actually, it's almost 3/4. It's almost 30 and 3/4. And then the brace size should be, I believe, 6 and an 1/8.
Should be.
Yeah, we're like 6 and an 1/8.
I thought it was supposed to be 29 and a half.
No, but that's you're probably thinking about the AX2.
Yes, okay.
The AX2 is the 29.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're aluminum bow. And then that's the 30 and a half on the RX8.
Yep, we've already measured it, so. Yeah, it's.
So it's actually going to be almost a little bit more forgiving, and it's faster.
Yes. That's the shorter limbs and the new mods.
Yep, and the engineering.
Yeah, they've really come through. I think that's a big step. The only thing I'm not crazy about still is the shim system that they use. I mean, you're still pulling axles, you're still changing shims to, wheel your cams left and right, where, I mean, everyone else has gotten something different.
But that's where the dependability and durability comes with that bow.
Well, because, and in speaking with the rep, when we did at TAC, their axles are exponentially stronger than everyone else's, right? So there is that going for them, because we physically dry fired one. Well, we made you do it, just because we were scared, and it didn't bend anything. And then we put it back together and shot it again. So, and then we drove it over with a truck.
Yeah, and it's still shot.
And then we made him shoot it again.
Yep.
Safety first. He was wearing a Kevlar and flak jacket, right?
Yep.
So just an attribution to the engineering and hard work that goes into Hoyt, guys. I am really impressed. I could not wait to get my hands on the new RX9 and shoot it, and I am thoroughly impressed.
Yeah,
speaking of
that bow,
the bow truck, or the truck bow.
So yep, I have put new strings on it. I have tuned it again. It's actually holding a tune still really well. And like I said, I've taken it out a few times now to hunt. Just haven't had nothing successful yet. So hopefully I will get something here in the future with it.
All right. Any closing arguments for the RX9?
I feel like it's
versus the RX8.
It's a good shooting bow. It's definitely a different draw cycle between the RX8 and RX9.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit more stiffer. I do like the new features that they've added with it. It's gonna be a lot more efficient for us, for the individual shooter.
Yeah.
And just come into the shop and shoot them. Let's hear you guys' opinions on what do you think about it. So get to a shop. If you're not here, go shoot one.
Absolutely. Let us know, guys. Thanks for watching. And anything you need, be sure to check us out, extremeoutfitters.com, for all of your archery and outdoor needs, and tactical as well. So until next time, guys, we'll see you later.